Welcome to the Murabbi Podcast.
Assalamu Alaikum. What's going on, everybody? This is TheIyareExperience, the People's Champion, welcoming you to another episode of our podcast. From teacher to Murabbi, welcome, welcome, welcome one and all. Thank you for coming. Thank you for listening. Thank you for all the viewers out there. All three of you, or four. Thank you very much. Today's topic is going to be a very important one, and for me, this is probably the second most important topic that we will ever talk about on this podcast regarding the Murabbi, or the teacher, is arrogance. Not being arrogant. As a teacher, this is something that is very easy to fall into. This is a horrible crime for you to fall into, the sickness, the disease of arrogance. It's very easy for a teacher to do this because the natural inclination for an adult to have regarding a child is that I know, you don't know, so therefore shut up, sit down, and listen to what I have to say. Right? That's the natural inclination that adults are going to have. That, let's face it, guys, that's the reality of how teaching has been for God knows how long. I'm the teacher, you're the student. Shut up, sit down, be quiet, and listen to me. Now, I'm not saying that there's something wrong with an adult taking control or an adult understanding that they are perhaps more knowledgeable than a student, but the issue is arrogance. The issue is arrogance when now you're feeling that you are better because you have that position of the teacher, or that you are abusing your position as a teacher. This is where we have a problem. This is where I'm going to have a problem with you. That being arrogant and treating your students in ways that are just not acceptable is not going to be acceptable to me. So if I see you doing it, we're going to have a problem. And I'm a pretty big guy, if you understand what I'm trying to say. You know what I'm trying to say, right? Yeah. So there are some people that because of their position as teachers, they abuse, they belittle the students, they speak nastily to them, they yell and scream, they punish unjustly. They, unfortunately, some of them even curse their students. You have teachers curse you? Astaghfirullah, for real? Yeah, so this is wrong. This is wrong. Cursing students, name calling students, making fun of them. Now, okay, if it's in jest and you have that relationship with the kids, okay, that's fine. But again, intention. If you have malicious intent behind what you're saying to that child, then you need to fear Allah. You need to fear Allah. And don't deal with the kids in such fashion. Because this arrogance is gonna come back and it's gonna get you. It's going to get you. When you make a mistake on the board, those kids are going to remember all the times you talk trash to them, you insulted them. They are going to make you suffer for that mistake that you made. And we're humans. Everybody makes a mistake. Everybody makes a mistake. So your turn is going to come. Your turn is going to come. If you spent all this time yelling and screaming, telling the children that they're donkeys or whatever else, because in the Middle East, that's a very common thing to call the children, to say that they're donkeys and whatnot. If that's the way you handle your classroom, then believe me, when you make that mistake, those kids are going to make it huge. They're going to go to their parents and be like, oh, my teacher doesn't even know something simple. He made this simple mistake, and they're going to make the issue big and perhaps, embellish. They will take it to your head of department. The teacher made this mistake. The teacher's always making this mistake. And then it's going to come back and haunt you. Now, arrogance shows a lack of humility. And humility is something that coincides with the issue of the intention. That when you're purifying your intention and that you are fearing Allah, that you remember that Allah, Huwal Akbar, Allah is the greatest, and you're just a lowly human. So when you have lack of humility, this is going to affect that paradigm, that understanding that you have. I had a teacher, I consider him to be one of my mentors. teacher Afiz. He's no longer teaching now. Mashallah, he's working in the Nigerian government now. But for me, he is probably the master teacher. Because he used to say, he's a Nigerian guy. So, Nigerians, they have a way of of, of, of dropping wisdom, in very, very flowery and very beautiful ways. So he would say to his students, because he taught physics and physics, chemistry, biology for IGCSE students and A-level students. So this is like grade 10, 11, 12, and first year college. So he would say to the students that I may not be as intelligent as you. You may be more intelligent than me. It's possible and probable that you are more intelligent than me, but I have more experience. So benefit from my experience, and it will add to your intelligence. For me, when he told me this, when I heard this, it really changed the way that I approach teaching, because all this time I was, looking at it as, and maybe like I kind of understood it, but it was never obvious. It wasn't something that I'm approaching consciously. So I am an engineer by trade. I studied electrical engineering. So of course there's a bit of pride. And there's a lot of pride. Let's just face it. There's a lot of pride with somebody graduating with a degree in engineering, electrical engineering at that. So I always approached it like this, like, I know what I'm talking about, you don't. So, listen to me. But when he pointed that out, that he was telling the students that perhaps you may be more intelligent than me, but I have the experience, it made me realize that, yeah, some of my students, if I were in their place when I was in grade 7 or grade 8 or grade 9, I would be the dummy. Yeah, I'd be the one who doesn't know. I'd be the one that's struggling in the back of class, and they may be the one that was the more capable. Put us together beside at that time, this kid was more capable than I was. So yes, that intellectually, this child may be more capable. He has more brain power. It's possible, and we have to keep our mind open to that. But we are the ones with the experience. We have the wisdom. So we need to impart that wisdom wisely. As usual, I leave you with smile. Stay classy. Have a good day.